Today we're looking at the green screen effect with Viddyoze, getting more out of your Viddyoze templates. How does that sound? Let's get started. This effect is very, very simple, and we're going to get started, but I've already done all of the basic work because most of using this effect is actually going to involve your video editor, in which case I must forewarn you, you have to be able to key out the green screen color. So if you don't know if your editor will do that, Google your video editor plus green screen removal and see if it will. And you can ask Google that question. Most softwares, at least the paid ones, do. However, even for MacBooks, say iMovie, you can do this for free. And then like Davinci Resolve for Windows-based things, you can do that on their free version. Even though it's an advanced software, if you're just looking to get this effect done, it's worth learning because you don't have to pay. So I wanted to open you up with that warning. I'm using Premiere Pro today, which is a little bit more on the pricier side, and then it allows you to do more customizations and get more out of videos, but you don't have to use Premiere Pro or anything that's paid even to do this effect. So to get started, we need to hop into Canva and we need to create our green screen template. Now, it is rather simple, but I always caution to make a 2048 by 2048 canvas and then drag the background color onto it and Google green screen hex and then use this. We'll just copy this color value, and then within Canva we will come up here and then we will actually paste our color value. So I've already done that. We're going to download the file and then we're going to hop into our templates within Viddyoze, and then in this case we're going to upload the logo as our green screen file, and then we're going to go to next step. You can choose if you want the audio or not and create the video. And then for the logo, we're not going to do the green screen as our logo because we want the actual logo to work, but instead under texts, we'll type whatever we want. But under colors, we're going to, for the background color, we're going to select which color we want to key out, which is the green. And in doing so, we want to make sure that no other green is within our animation. And then we'll come here and we will create the video. Now it's ugly right here, but we're going to be removing anything green within this, and it's going to create kind of like an alpha channel. The same is going to apply for the man throwing the paint on the wall, in which case the logo, we need to match the color of the paint. So we're going to use our green screen template once more. And then for the paint color, we're going to make sure that we use that B140 hex code. It has to match. These two colors really need to be the exact same shade of green. And then we'll just go ahead and create that file. And then for the laptop, we're going to use the green screen image for our screen image. So any type of green screen effect within Viddyoze, you're just going to want to make sure that whatever you're keying out has that hex code, that B140 hex code. So I didn't want to waste too much of your time showing you that, but I did want to cover it because most of what we're going to be doing today is actually working within Premiere Pro. So we're going to get started by dragging our Art Expo rectangular effect. And then I already have my introduction sequence, which I'll just show you what it is. It's just me talking. And we need to put the Art Expo effect above it. And then we need to drag me underneath it. And then we're going to get started by actually keying out the green screen. So I want to drag my clip to where he steps aside and puts his hand up. And that's going to be our first scene. We'll drag this over. And then we're going to navigate to the Effects tab. So within Premiere Pro, it's under Effects. We can type in Ultra and bring up under Video Effects Keying Ultra Key. Now under Final Cut Pro, I believe they call it keying. Some softwares call it green screen removal. They call it keying removal or color removal, ultra key, keying, etc. Something along those lines. Again, your tutorial should help you if you Google that. But once we drag our ultra key on, we'll come up to Effect Controls, go down to Ultra Key, use our dropper tool to remove the green. And I like to change the setting when I do these Viddyoze templates to aggressive, which makes it just a little bit more aggressive in the color removal. And now we have our layer underneath. So to size it up, I'm going to reduce the size and I'm going to bring the motion of the screen up a bit, somewhere in that camp. And then I'm going to scrub through. And when I say something like I don't know exactly what I'm saying here, but somewhere along these lines, I want to actually add the applause. So they start clapping at one point. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it out. And this is just basic video editing. But when I say something like that, then they're clapping. How does it sound? And then just like that, we can end it. And we can go into our scene. So that's the 10-second introduction. Now we're going to do the multiple layers that you saw in the introduction here by navigating back out to our project file, dragging in the different layers. I'm using the base layer of the whole thing as the girl opening the hologram, which is from the video that I made in my Viddyoze review. This is I think it's about a 10 or 12 second clip. Let's see what it is. Starting at 10, ending at 21. So that's an 11-second clip. And this will be the music and it will be the audio. So I'm going to use this as my base layer. And then we're going to add a bunch of, zooms and things on top of that within the green screens. So the three that we're going to be using is the paint bucket splash, the stylish web search, and the man with the laptop. So the laptop screen, I'm going to go ahead and put at the end. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the audio from my other clips. What we need is to remove the green screen from all of these. So we're going to do the exact same thing where we come to our effects panel and we drag Ultra key onto our laptop screen and we key out this green. Again, that's under Effect Controls, Ultra key with the key color green. Once you learn how to do this, you'll go very fast through it. I'm going to change it to aggressive and that should be good. Now we'll do the exact same thing for the paint bucket, in which case we will drag our Ultra key on and we will key out this effect. It's going to make it look black, but realistically it's whatever's underneath it. So here you can see whatever's underneath it is the way that that's going to work. And we will start somewhere with him already reeled back a bit. So it'll be something like that. And then when it does start, we're going to need for the man to be like that. So we're going to want to make sure that once the paint hits, that our layer underneath is the man on the laptop. And then we're going to want to make sure that the girl in the hologram is actually filling in the screen on the laptop, because right now it doesn't look that great. So we're going to do the same thing where we reduce the size of it. And we kind of bring her into motion by rotating it and aligning it up somewhere in these lines. And the best way that I find to do this is to start at the beginning and start at the end and then use keyframes along the way. So my first scene, when we see her, I'm going to want to see it touch just like that. And in order to do that, I'm going to want to add right about here keyframes and for position, scale, and rotation. And then I'm going to want to go all the way to the end. And we see that this laptop screen ends a little bit before we would like it to. So I'm going to extend this laptop screen out a little bit. The way that I'm going to extend this out is by hitting the C key, which is going to bring up the blade tool. And then I'm going to select the clip. I'm going to drag it to the end, and then I'm going to drag it back. Now this won't work for all clips, but here what we'll see is there might be a slight jump there, but nothing major. And then we can see at the end what our framing looks like. And on the last frame, I'm going to add keyframes, and I'm going to move the actual aiPROFITz logo so that it's front and center. So it's something like that. And I think that ultimately looks pretty good. So now we can scrub through and we can see if at any point it gets out of line. And I think that honestly looks pretty good. But we don't need our man sitting there watching the whole thing. So we can actually have him fade out somewhere. So we can actually fade that out a bit. We'll just do Control D to put a crossfade on it. And then it'll fade. We'll see the eyes, and then we'll see the animation at the end, just like that. So the last thing we need to do is remove the Ultra key on the search tool. You can use this again to make it kind of like an alpha channel. I'm going to go ahead and select the darker area and select aggressive. And what you'll see there is pretty much now it is removed any shadows and any of the green. So now we can actually put this underneath. It is important to layer it. So we've got our girl opening a hologram layer. We have the laptop screen layer, and then we have the search, and then with the paint on top. That's the way that I want to layer this. But we'll have this come in just like that. We'll have it search, best ways to make money online. And then we'll have aiPROFITz showing. Now to finish up this animation, I want to add a little zoom effect. Now this might be the most difficult, I would say, you're going to have to play around with it. Same with the keying of putting the live video in the laptop. I only did two keys there. And for the most part, it looks pretty good. We could probably add, a couple here. And in fact, we will, because we're going to be adjusting this a slight bit to bring it center. And then at the end, I'm going to actually key the Viddyoze laptop screen, this second scene that we have, and we're going to start zooming. So we're going to go keys on the position and scale. And then we're going to jump to the last scene for position and scale. And we're going to put keys on that as well. And then we're just going to do a slight zoom with the slight motion up so that we can see something along these lines. Let's do just a little bit more of a zoom. And then we're going to jump back to the hologram. We're going to put our keyframes for position, scale, and rotation. And we're just going to make sure that it is front and center. However we want that final scene to look. So we want the aiPROFITz to kind of jump out at us a little bit. And then we're going to end this with a dip to black, which I want to put on the final scene for both layers so that it dips just like that. So now let's actually watch this back. It's on mute, but we want to make sure that everything looks good. We've got our search coming in, best ways to make money online. Then we show the aiPROFITz, then we've got the zoom, and then it fades out. And ultimately, that is our effect. That is using a green screen or the green screen effect within Viddyoze. Hopefully this video brought you some value. If it did, you know what to do.
Like this video if it brought you any value. Leave a comment down below what your thoughts are. Subscribe for more content like this. I have a 7-day email series called Power Profits, 100% free to join. Link in the description. My name is Scott with aiPROFITz.com, and we will see you in the next one.